Dice Tower Tonight, episode 83.
Engage.
Welcome to Dice Tower Tonight, a video cast about board games and card games, and especially the people who play them. On tonight's show, what is it about a game that makes it compelling? We attempt to define that certain something that has us rushing to play a game again and again. Also, Crystal has a picture-perfect game for me in the chat to play. We run through some titles we played lately, and we answer questions from the audience live. I'm Eric Summerer, and joining me now, the Heidi Klum to my Simon Cowell, it's Crystal Dax.
Hi, Eric.
Hello there.
How are you? You're in your new house.
I am. It's the new house. This is the basement where my studio is. You can see the spiral staircase that descends into my zone. I have built the booth. I have the audio equipment. And so far, so kind of good. There's little things that we're dealing with. Like I was telling you, Crystal, before we started, there is something beeping in the house. It sounds like, like a low battery warning for a smoke detector, but it's random intervals, and it just, we can't figure out where it is or what it is. And even if I could find it, I don't know where the batteries are. There's a box, and I've looked all over the house. I can't find it.
I mean, if you found the device, you could go buy new batteries. It's not
true.
like the box of batteries are the only batteries that exist.
Yes. It's just every time we think we know where it is, we hear the noise coming from somewhere else. So either someone's playing an elaborate prank, or there's just a very mysterious device. And you don't know what anything does. I'm sure you've experienced this. Different switches you think turn on certain things, but they don't. And then you flip on the switch and it doesn't work. And so is it like the bulb out, or is it a wiring issue? And so I'm just troubleshooting all over the place. It's been fun. How are you?
I have multiple light switches in my house that I believe do absolutely nothing. And it could be one of those things where they're there in case you add like a ceiling fan or something else later. But some of them I can't figure out at all. I did learn when I was buying this house something that I didn't know. Oh, something is up with my sound, is what Mr. E says.
Oh, no.
Is it just me?
I think I have you off.
Okay.
Well, hang on, let me try one thing.
Okay.
Now I probably can't hear you if I do that.
Well, here, I'm going to move my microphone closer. Corlu said I'm lower volume, so I can...
Oh, this lower volume. Okay.
Underwater. I wonder if that's because my microphone is farther.
It could be my problem, too.
Or, you know what? Hold on. Let me make sure Skype is picking up the correct microphone, because Skype likes to change settings for no reason sometimes.
It could also be
that... up my microphone correctly.
Yeah, I can lower mine a little bit, and I was tweaking a couple things. It could just be that I'm a little hotter than normal.
Oops. Are you still there?
I'm here.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I thought I closed you out, and I got very worried. I can't see you anymore. I don't know what I've done. How do I get back from the settings?
Lots of people are giving me suggestions on stuff to check. The sump pump power and or water levels for the beep. Maybe a clock setting. Oh, we found out that our dishwasher beeps when it's done and doesn't stop beeping unless you open it.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That's nobody rushes to the dishwasher when it's done.
We set it and go to bed. It runs overnight. So it's...
Oh, what a bummer.
It's super fun.
All right, I'm sliding my microphone closer to myself and gently raising it without trying to touch it too much.
Yeah, we've tweaked every possible thing at this point. So now I'm sure you're probably a lot louder.
Who knows? But yeah, other than that, I am doing pretty good. I'm really excited because tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and since I live alone, and obviously I'm trying to keep myself safe, COVID-wise, I'm not doing my normal Friendsgiving, which I usually do with my friends here in Vegas. So I'm live streaming on the internet all day.
All right.
Yeah.
Exciting.
So if anybody in the chat is a little bit bummed that they can't do their usual Thanksgiving stuff, family, friends, whatnot, come hang out with me on the internet over on the Board Game Blitz Twitch channel, because I will be there all day, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific time. And at 11 a.m., I will be eating on camera. I'm having a meal live, so that way if people want someone to eat with, because that's a big deal for Thanksgiving, they can come and eat with me. I'm not eating a traditional Thanksgiving meal though. So
we didn't think we'd be having a traditional Thanksgiving meal because no one's coming to the house. We are still in utter chaos. But my wife found at the grocery store today like all the Thanksgiving regulars just pre-made.
Oh,
so
nice.
She bought like all of Thanksgiving. We've got stuffing and turkey, a turkey pot pie, which I'm excited about.
Wow.
So we're going to have Thanksgiving dinner, and I didn't think we were going to. I thought we were going to have pizza or something. So surprises abound here in the Summerer house.
Very cool. Well, Eric, I would love to hear about a game that you've played recently.
Absolutely. So this one's a very small, simple game, but as it is the day before Thanksgiving, we're heading into the Christmas holiday season. This is appropriate. It's from Grand Gamers Guild. It is called the Kringle Caper. It is a 18-card escape room challenge from Grand Gamers Guild. Jonathan Chafer is the designer. And it's a tiny little box. Pretty, I kind of like the packaging for what it is. And you open it up and the rules are very clear. In fact, I'll open it up for you now. It says don't look at the back of the cards, and here's how you play the game. Here, like, warning, do not look at the back of the cards. And it even says this is what the back of the cards look like, so don't accidentally flip them over. So anyway, you've got 18 cards, and you'll flip the first one over, and there are puzzles on the cards, and you're working your way through the deck. In fact, in sequence. There's no it's not like Unlock where you go to number 37 and go to number 65. It's just 1 through 18 basically. It does have an app. You go to a web page basically, and you're entering in clue words once you figure out the puzzles. This is definitely designed for a family audience. In fact, the first several puzzles were very easy. I was sort of like, this is almost too easy, but it did eventually get to some more difficult ones using some word puzzles that I did get stuck on. There is a hint system that will give you a nudge and then basically allow you to find out the answer. So not as robust as, say, the Curious Stairs or the Curious Elevator of Mr. Hinks, but still an online hint system if you want to go that route. But it also keeps track of your progress as you work your way through. So there's a timer running. It knows how long it's taken you to play the game. I do wish there was a way to pause in the app system, because at one point, because we are doing what we're doing, my wife came down and we had something we had to deal with the moving boxes and stuff like that. And I was in the middle of the game, had to walk away for a while and couldn't pause the timer. I do not know how easy it is to get this right now. If you go to grandgamersguild.com, there's no information about this game on their website. And so I don't know if they are actually going to have this available in time for this year. This might be a 2021 release. I've asked for information, but they didn't get back to me in time for air. But the Kringle Caper is a lot of fun for families, and I think it's a lovely experience for one of those quiet moments if you have an hour or so with the kids and want to have a little adventure. It does reward knowledge of various Christmas tropes, some carols and Christmas lore. And the website, the clue section does have, here's a bunch of Christmas poems and stories and carols that you may find useful. So that's part of the hint system as well, just in case you don't have that innate knowledge, because you really do need to know some of those things in order to automatically do the puzzles. It's not all on the cards. But anyway, Kringle Caper from Grand Gamers Guild. I enjoyed it.
That's neat. It's not the game I'm talking about tonight, but I did recently play an escape room style game, which is available at Target, called Box One. It's the one that Neil Patrick Harris co-designed. Have you played that one yet,
I have
Eric?
not. No, I've heard about it.
It's interesting. I'm not going to say much. Again, it's not the game I'm talking about tonight, but it very specifically tells you at the end of the game not to talk about it. Like, it says, don't spoil any of this for your friends, but tell them if you think they'll like it. And I will say that of the escape room games that I've done, it is one of the more unique ones, and I really loved playing it. And it is designed for a single person. It's called Box One. It's intended to be a singular experience for one person to play through the game. And so in a time of COVID, I'd say that's pretty cool. So, and it's pretty cheap at Target too. I want to say it's like $20. It's not that expensive, and it's really awesome.
Cool.
But for non-escape room style games, Eric, I'm going to share my screen because I recently got to play a game over the internet with some friends. It's not an internet-based game. It is called Trails of Tucana. Have you heard of this one, Eric?
I have. Give me 1 second. I need to bring that up for you. We're going to do that. And that's still me. 1 second. And there's you. That's awesome. What we're looking at.
There we go. So Trails of Tucana is a flip and write or roll and write style game where everyone has a score sheet that looks like what you all are seeing here. And cards get flipped over from a deck with different land types on them. And each turn or round, 2 cards get flipped up. And you have to draw a line connecting to those 2 land types. So I will actually bring up the image that I have of a game that I played so you all can see. So like if it flips up water and sand, then you could draw a line between a water tile and a sand tile. If it comes up water, then you draw a line between 2 water tiles. And you're always just drawing from the middle of a tile to the middle of another tile. And what you're looking to do over the course of 3 rounds is connect the letters that are along the outside of the map to their like letters. So D to D, A to A, etc. Did you kill something?
I tried to. I think I missed. Sorry. No one saw that but you, Crystal.
No, sorry. Yeah, I know they can't see you, but I can. And then you're also trying to connect to the little figures and symbols that are on the board as well. And you're trying to get those symbols connected to the cities, which are the letters themselves. And it's all played simultaneously, like at most flip and write games. And there is a little bit of asymmetricness in the setup because the letters on each person's sheet get drawn in a slightly different location. So like where I have A, the next person might have D. So it's unlikely that anyone would end up with the same looking board because we all start the letters in a different spot. You're trying to get bonus points for connecting the symbols to the cities and then for connecting the letters to one another by the end of the game. And then there are also some bonus scoring cards that could come up as well. This was taught to me remotely. I do not own the game yet, although now that I've played it a couple of times, I really want to get a copy of it. There are multiple score sheets. This is just one of them. I believe there's at least 2 that come in the base game of box.
Yeah, a small island and a big island, I think.
Yeah. And then it's neat because the score sheet on the top left there shows the frequency of the different land types in the deck. So you always kind of have an idea of what is possible, like what could be coming up. But it's relatively simple. Like it's an easy teach, but the decisions in the game are interesting and not obvious all the time. Like there were a lot of times that I was just like, ooh, I could do this, or I could do that, or I could do that. And since it's only 3 rounds, it goes by really quickly. And you're seeing that, the end of that 3rd round is coming and you haven't connected 3 different things that you want to. And so making those tough decisions on where to put the lines. Like, as you can see in this one, I have lines that aren't connected to anything because I was just trying to set up other stuff and didn't end up getting it. Needless to say, I really liked this one a lot. And I'm definitely looking to get a copy soon and probably hosting games of it online on the Twitch channel because this is an easy one to play along with as long as you have the score sheet. So lots and lots of fun. I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, Trails of Tucana is a lot of fun. I think I like the larger island more than the smaller because doesn't it go a little bit longer? Is that the case?
So, I believe so. I think So I've only played the large island. We played that one twice, but I think the short island or the small island, you may only do 2 rounds instead of 3. I only skimmed through the rule book.
Yep.
So I'm not 100% sure.
Yes, I think that's the case. So I like the longer game just because you can set up more stuff and there's more variation. But it's really solid. I almost regret I didn't pick up a copy of this when it released at Spiel, and I kind of wish I had because it's a really fun one. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it as well.
Yeah. It was funny because my friends who were teaching it to me likened it to Avenue, and Avenue is like the one flip and write or roll and write game that I really didn't dig. For whatever reason, it just didn't resonate with me. And so when they likened this to that, I was like, oh no. But then I played this and I was like, no, this is delightful.
I just realized that I saw something on the camera that my wife was looking for earlier, and I swore that I didn't take it. It looks like I took it.
Uh-oh.
It's a step stool. Don't tell her, okay?
Okay. Yeah, no. We won't tell her. Don't worry.
So, Crystal, you have a game for me in the chat to play that you have gone to extraordinary lengths to acquire.
I mean, I wouldn't say extraordinary lengths, but it did take me a long time to acquire it, and I did pay more money for it than I should have. But I think if you've been looking for a game for 2 years and you find a copy of it and you really still want that game, you buy it, right? Like, I think that's what you do, and that's what I did. So
good.
And I should have warned the chat in advance. I'll have to give you all a couple minutes, but those of you in the chat are going to be able to play along. Like, it's not like a modified version of playing along. Like, you're going to play along with us, but you will need some paper and a writing utensil. So
I had to go looking for that.
Yes, you'll need something to draw on, and you're going to be doing 6 different small drawings. So a single piece of paper will work if you can section it off, but like 6 small pieces of paper or 3 front and back small pieces of paper, however you want to do it. Shoot, a dry erase marker board will work, and you all are going to be scoring your own drawings. So we're going to trust you to be honest. But this game is called, if I can grab the box lid, Duplic. It is also called Portrayal or Identic or Masterwork. It has been published under a whole bunch of different titles.
I think I've heard of it as Identic. I think that sounds familiar.
Duplic is the one that I learned 2 years ago at BGG Con, and it is the one that I found on Amazon overpriced, so that is the one that I purchased. Duplic is a drawing game, and I'm actually going to grab an example card that is not one of the ones we're using tonight. Duplic comes with a number of cards that are front and back that have a sketch on them, a black and white sketch that has usually some kind of weird and ridiculous things on it. Like, for instance, in this one, which is called Dinosaur, Duck, and Dentures, there's a lot of weird things going on, as you all can see. What's going to happen is Eric and I are going to take turns describing a picture to each other and all of you, and we will have 90 seconds to describe the picture in as much detail as possible. Then we will score. But how do you score? Each card has this red section on it, which, when I put the little red lens sheet on top of it, assuming I can get it out of the box, then we'll see what the scoring constraints are, but we do not know them in advance. So, for instance, for this Dinosaur, Duck, and Dentures, you would get points for doing things like, the dinosaur's tongue is visible. The dinosaur has 2 arms. The dentures are in a glass. There are 2 toothbrushes visible in the scene. So the amount of detail via which you describe the thing matters, because you'll get points based on like certain aspects of it that you don't necessarily know in advance. So yes, what I've done is I very carefully picked cards out of the deck at random, held my phone over them without looking at them, and sent them to Eric. So Eric has 3 and I have 3.
Yep.
I have the cards that I sent to Eric, but I have not looked at them. So I am not cheating. It was difficult to do. I had to have Eric confirm that the pictures were not blurry.
Yes, they came through clearly.
Which is good. So I will go first. And then we will also have one of the 10 scoring things will be, I don't remember what it's called, but like the bonus scoring thing. And I'm going to roll a die to determine what that is going to be for this first one that I'm going to describe. I rolled a 1. So number 1 on the sheet will score 3 points. Everything else will score 1. For me, the describer, I will get 1 point. Well, this is going to be weird because somebody in chat's going to get all of them probably. Eric, you and I will just use each other as a basis. For everything that you get correct, I will also get a point for, but we're still competing against the chat.
Gotcha.
I think. I only get 1 point for the 3-point-ones though. Yes. Okay. So I'm taking the first picture. Oh my. And also I've set up a little ledge up here, Eric, so I'm going to have the timer. Chat is delayed, so it's not like chat will be able to help me, but at least it'll be right in front of me, so I'll hopefully see it when it runs out.
Okay.
I vamped enough. Chat, do you all have paper? Are you ready to draw? Because I want to make sure that y'all are playing along with us. Y'all put something in chat. Let me know if you are prepared and ready to draw with us. I got a thumbs up from Pam. Let's see. I'm going to hope that everybody else is about ready as well. And all right, here we go, y'all, for the first one. I'm flipping the timer and then I'm going to start describing. Okay, so there's 3 men of ascending size, all bent over, forming a ramp. Like they're all bald men. Well, no, not bald. The tallest one has a little bit of hair, but they're all like bent over, so they're like diagonal, forming a ramp going upward. And then there's a guy walking up the backs of the bottom 2 men, and he's got his hand in his pocket, and he's got his eyes closed, and he's wearing a bow tie and a hat, and he looks very stern. And then in the air above him and to his left is a bird riding an arrow, and there are 2 clouds in the sky, and the bird is literally, he looks like he's just chilling, like he's very, very cool and collected. Tiny beak, nothing really distinguishing about the bird. He's got 2 feathers coming out of his tail. So if I go back down to the 3 men that are forming the ramp, they all have long sleeve shirts with collars, pants, and shoes of some kind, but no laces or anything else on the shoes. But they're definitely not barefoot. Let's see. Oh, the guy that's walking up the ramp has 4 buttons going down the front of his shirt underneath the bow tie. And his thumb is the only digit not in the pocket. So he's got his 4 fingers in the pocket, but not his thumb. And then all 3 of the ramp guys you can see their ear. Okay, time's up. Well, I hope I did a good job. And for those of you who are in chat, whether you do it now or later, please tweet me the photo or the pictures of what you've drawn, because I want to see them.
Oh boy.
I think that'll be awesome. Okay, so I'm going to read number 1 first because it's first on the list. That's the one that's worth 3 points. So you all score yourself. This first one is worth 3 points. Everything else is worth 1. Number 1, there are exactly 3 ears visible in the scene.
No.
So that's 3 points. Okay, number 2, there are 4 people and 1 bird in the scene.
I got that.
Okay. The pointed tip of the arrow is closer to the left side of the canvas than the bird's beak.
No.
Okay. Number 4. There is a pocket visible on at least one of the coats.
No.
Number 5. One of the people has exactly 4 buttons on his coat.
Aha!
Number 6, the man whose head is closest to the top of the canvas is wearing a hat. Number 7, one of the men is wearing a bow tie.
Ah.
Number 8, of the 3 men forming a human stairway, the tallest is also the furthest to the left. Number 9, the bird's head is closer to the top of the canvas than any of the clouds in the scene.
What if there are no clouds?
Well, then I would say no, probably, right? I don't know. And number 10, the bird's beak is to the left of its tail.
No.
All right, let's see. Oh, you have like a little ghost guy. I love it. He's floating.
I didn't have time to put legs.
Tell us how many points you got, chat. So how many points did you and I get, Eric?
That was 3 points.
3 points. Okay. All right, Eric, I'm going to let you go next.
Okay.
I need to grab my...
Do we get to say what the name of the picture is? Or
oh,
is
yeah,
that...
we do. And I didn't... Did I do that? On the Way Up was the name of that one. I don't know if that would have helped. But yes, okay. You do get to say the name of the picture.
Okay.
All right, let's see. Wow, Coraloo got 9 points.
Whoa.
Coraloo, you better tweet that one at me. I want to see it. Oh, and Noah got 9 points also. Y'all are good.
Impressive.
All right, Eric, are you ready for me to flip the timer?
Yes.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, this is called Hocus Pocus. It is a rabbit popping out of a top hat. Now, first, the surface is a checkerboard pattern. The checkerboards sort of go diagonally in black and white. There is a magic wand that goes from about halfway up that surface from the right to the left, upper right to the lower left, a diagonal of this magic wand. Then there is an upside-down top hat that goes up, and there's the brim above that, and then a rabbit comes out, and not only can you see the entire, from the waist up of the rabbit, you can see both hands of the rabbit. The rabbit is holding a cloche that, you know, like you're serving a serving tray. The cloche is closed, but there are steam curlicues coming off of it. That cloche is in his left hand, so it's on the right-hand side of the canvas. He's holding it in his left hand and then is sort of gesturing to it with his right hand. His eyes are closed. He has a serene smile on his face. He's facing the cloche. His 2 ears go up, and then they sort of flatten out, so it's like almost a straight line above his head. And the left ear is sort of bent. It sort of has a crease to it. And the right ear is more of a straight line, but they sort of form a T above his head. So let's see, looking at my time, I'm almost done. Top hat, the cloche, make sure you have the steam, and time is up.
Oh my God. I don't have the steam. Okay, so now I have to very carefully grab the 3 cards that I sent to you and look for the name of the one that we're... Oh, hey, it's the
Hocus Pocus.
Oh, that is not what I drew at all. Okay, so let me roll the die to see which is our bonus scoring thing. Number 7. So when we get to that one, I will let you all know again that that one is 3 points, but everything else is 1 point. I will move the timer. Okay, I'm going to have to score myself here. Number 1. The platter that the rabbit is holding is to the right of its hand. Oh, I'm backwards. Okay. So that's a no. There is a magic wand visible below the hat.
Yeah.
There are at least 3 lines of steam rising from the platter. Both of the rabbit's ears are visible. Hey, I got a point.
Oh, good.
The steam lines rising from the platter extend higher than the rabbit's ears. The table or surface that the hat is resting on has a checkered pattern on it. I got that.
Okay.
Okay, so this is our bonus. 3 points for the rabbit is smiling. And I did do that, so I'm going to get 3 points. The rabbit's hind feet and tail are not visible. That's true. The rabbit's eyes are closed. I'm giving myself a point for that because I fixed it, but y'all are going to laugh when you see what my drawing is. And the rabbit is facing the right side of the canvas. No, that is not accurate for me. Okay, so this is what the actual... Did I show you all the drawing from before? I don't think I showed you the first one, did I? So this is what it looked like, and this is what I drew.
Okay.
I fixed his eyes. I made them closed. It's kind of gross looking.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah, totally the same, right? Like, that's the same. Here, I will show you all what the first one looked like. This is what that one was intended to be.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I had the direction, like, totally messed up on that one.
Yeah. Okie dokie. We
So,
may only have time for a couple more of these.
I'm having fun. How many points
mean,
did you end up on that? Was that 7 points?
I ended up with 7 points.
Very nice.
Yeah. All right. So it's me again. So that's from the top pile here, I believe. Oh my. So this one is called We Aim to Please. I'm giving the chat time to take pictures this time because I saw somebody said that they needed time to take pictures before. Taco Bunny. Oh, and I'll go ahead and roll the die for this one. Number 4 is going to be the bonus scoring number. All right, chat, are you ready to draw? We aim to please in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so there are 2 what look like servants, but they're egg-shaped, mostly. Like, their heads are very, like, so there's a man on the left side of the card, a man egg thing, and then on the middle right of the card, lower than him, is a woman egg thing. They both have gigantic lips, and the man's teeth are showing, and the woman just has lips and, like, no teeth. They both... No. The man has 2 very visible ears and, like, a side part in his hair. The woman has a bob that kind of curls under at the ends. They both have little legs that stick out with fancy shoes. And they both have their... Oh, gosh, it's mirrored. So their right arm on their hip. So it's on the left side of the card that they have their right arm on their hip. And then their left arm, for both people, is holding a tray. The woman's tray has a drink with a slice of some citrus fruit on the side of it and a straw that is bent sticking out the top of it, and then a little bowl of some kind. And the man's tray has what looks like a big, like, Applebee's style margarita glass with, like, 3 balls in it, kind of. And then maybe that's ice cream. I don't know. And then there's also a little bowl with, like, also ice cream kind of sitting in it that's lower than that. The man's wearing a tie. They're both wearing aprons of some kind. And oh dear, my goodness, I'm so sorry. I did not get everything described, I don't think, but it was a lot. So, all right. Let's see how you did, everybody. I'm going to move the timer. All right, number 1. The person closest to the left side of the canvas has exactly 2 ears visible.
Point.
Both of the people in the scene are holding trays in one hand.
Point.
Both of the people have hair on their heads.
Didn't get that far. No point.
Okay. There is a slice of lemon or orange on the edge of one of the drinking glasses.
No.
The top of one person's head is closer to the top of the canvas than either of the trays.
Yes.
Okay. The leftmost person is wearing a necktie.
Yes.
The rightmost person is closer to the bottom of the canvas than the other person is.
Okay.
Teeth are visible in at least one person's mouth.
Uh-huh.
Both of the people are wearing aprons. I threw that in at the last minute, so that's probably my bad. And there is a drinking straw in at least one of the beverage glasses.
Oh, I forgot. I put an umbrella instead of the drinking straw.
And I forgot to call it out when I read it, but the bonus one for 3 points was the slice of lemon or orange one. I know.
Dag nabbit.
That was the 3-pointer. So chat, let us know how you did.
I was busy drawing the ice cream. So here's me. They don't have legs.
That's awesome.
But they are egg-shaped people.
Okay, well, here, do you want to see what it actually looks like?
I do. All right.
Yeah. That's the thing. I was like, they're not eggs, but they're not people. They're like egg people. Whoa, Coralu, 10 points. I love it.
Wow. That is impressive.
Let's see. All right. And then, Eric, which one do you have next?
RoboDoc is the name of this one. Ooh, Noah got 11.
Did I mix the piles up? RoboDoc. Oh, so I did mix the piles up, but that's okay because it was the back of the card I just did, so we're fine.
Okay.
So I cannot look at that one, but I need to have it over here. Okay. Flip new page. Whoa, Eric got all 12 points. That's amazing. Eric Dalibor.
Wow.
Yeah. He's doing the Eric name proud.
Yes.
Alrighty. Eric, are you ready to describe our next picture to us?
I am.
All right. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, on the left-hand side of the canvas, going about 2/3 over, is a table, and on the table is a man. His head is to the left. His right arm is dangling on dangling over the table, and the rest of him is covered by a blanket. You can see his feet, but they are also covered by the blanket. Above him, in the center of the canvas, is a robotic doctor. He is, let's see, he's got like a mechanical smile. He's got 2 visible eyes. He's got one of those old-timey doctor reflectors, like a light on his forehead, and that the reflector is to the left of his head. And he has a small antenna, a single antenna sticking straight up out of his head. His left arm, to the right of the canvas, is bent at a 90-degree angle, holding a giant syringe that is pointing straight up into the air. In fact, the point of the syringe goes even higher than his antenna, almost to the top of the canvas. And in that bottom right-hand corner is a robotic dog. It sort of looks like a Scotty, except instead of legs, it has wheels. 4 wheels instead of legs for this dog. The dog also has an antenna going straight up, and there's little waves coming out of the antenna. The antenna is sort of straight out of his back, the middle of his back, and the dog is barking. He is sort of looking at the blanket and barking. You can see little bark lines coming out of his mouth. And that's time.
Oh my goodness. Okay. That's the thing that I drew. I regret some of my decisions. All right. Oh yeah, that's yeah. Okay. I did not roll for this one yet, so I'm going to roll for the bonus scoring. And 1 is, so the very first one is worth 3 points, and then everything else is worth 1.
Okay.
So let me score myself here. The robot dog has 4 wheels. Dang it! I didn't get to that yet. And that's the 3-pointer. Nothing for me. Okay. The robot dog has a tail. Nope. The robot dog has an antenna on its back. I only got his head done, so
How was I supposed to know I was supposed to start with a robot dog?
I know, right? It's not like the picture's called Yeah, it's called RoboDoc. It's not called RoboDog. Okay. The robot dog is to the right of both the robot doctor and the man on the operating table. That I get.
Good.
Okay. One of the arms belonging to the man on the operating table is visible. I got that. The robot doctor has 2 eyes. Yep.
Hooray.
The tip of the needle is closer to the top of the canvas than the end of the doctor's antenna. I had to, go off the page to make it happen, but I did it. I'll show you the whole picture in a second, but I did that. Let's see. The man on the operating table has some hair on his head. Nope, he doesn't even have a face, so I don't get anything for that.
Yeah, I didn't talk about that.
There is a blanket covering the man on the operating table in such a way that his feet are not visible. Good job, Eric.
Woo!
I got that one. And the robot doctor is wearing an apron. I did not.
That I did not say.
So I got 5 points, and I will show everybody what the picture was intended to look like. And then I will show you all what I did. I'm just.
It's not bad.
I mean,
We just didn't have the dog's body.
yeah, it was.
Plus, I spent a lot of time talking about that reflector thing on his head, and it didn't matter.
I know, right? That's what's neat about this game, though, is like there are details that matter and details that don't, and you just have to kind of guess. So before we go to my next one, Eric, what is the name of your last card so I don't accidentally do that one?
Yes, my last card is Ice Sculpture.
Okay, I'm going to find the name of that one. Okay, I'm putting that one aside so I don't do that. And then, okay, we're doing this one apparently. Putting this over here. Alrighty, let's see, I'm going to roll the die. Number 2 is going to be our bonus scoring for this one. Okay, timer back up on its little ledge. All right, chat, get ready to draw. And Eric, in 3, 2, 1. This is called ice cream cone, and I is spelled E-Y-E, ice cream cone. So there's an ice cream cone on the left side of the canvas, tilting to the left a little bit, and it has 4 scoops. Well, it has 4 kind of scoops of ice cream on it, but the bottom scoop is normal, and there's 2 drips coming off of it. The scoop on top of that, also normal. But then the third scoop is an eyeball, like an actual eyeball with like veins and like bloodshotness, and it's creepy looking. Then the last scoop is an actual scoop that has sprinkles and a cherry on top of it. Then on the right side of the canvas is a lady, just from the upper torso up, like neck, shoulders visible, but nothing below that. And she is holding both of her hands up to her head, like, oh my gosh, what's the actress's name from Clue? When she's like, flames on the sides of my face. Like she's holding them up to the sides of her head, kind of like that a little bit, like fingers pointing straight up. And she's got her mouth open like she's gasping or screaming. And her eyes are like looking to her right, so toward the ice cream cone, to be to our left, her right. She has a bracelet on one hand. On our left, her hand or wrist has a bracelet on it, and it looks like she's wearing a necklace of some kind, maybe a pearl necklace, but it's kind of abstracted. She has dark hair with like 2 white streaks in the front of it, but the rest of it's dark. She has a nose, she has eyebrows, and time is up. Whew. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. So number 2 is our bonus. I will remember to say that when I get to it here in a second. Madeline Kahn. Thank you,
Madeline Kahn.
In my franticness, I could not remember. Flames on the sides of my face. All right, scoring. Not including the eyeball, there are 3 scoops of ice cream on the cone.
Got that.
Okay, now here's the bonus one for 3 points. There are veins visible on the eyeball on the ice cream cone.
Got it.
Yay! Number 3, there are at least 2 drips visible in the scene.
Woo!
There are at least 7 sprinkles on the topmost scoop of ice cream.
No, I was busy.
Yeah. The stem of the cherry is closer to the top of the canvas than the woman's head.
Okay. Yes.
There is a cherry on the topmost scoop of ice cream.
Yep.
You'd think they would have listed those in the
other way.
Order,
yeah.
But hey, you know. The woman's mouth is open.
She doesn't have a mouth.
Okay. The woman's head is larger than the eyeball on the ice cream cone.
Okay. Yep.
There is a woman in the scene to the right of the ice cream cone.
Yes.
The woman is wearing a bracelet.
I got it.
Hey! How'd you do?
I got 10 points on that one.
Nice.
I mean,
that means I get.
I got the details that you needed, but it doesn't look very pretty.
Oh, that's great. Here, I'll show you what it was intended to look like. This is the.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
not bad though. I got the ice cream cone.
So I get 8 points from you because I don't get the bonus points. So let's see, 5, 8. What did I get before? 13 plus 7. So I've got 23 total, I think. going to try and keep track of that. It's fine. Somebody in the chat's going to win for sure, but that's okay. All right, Eric.
Oh, wow. Coralu got them all. 12 points. Several 12s, actually.
Yo, y'all are awesome.
Wow.
Clearly, we have duplicate experts. When did you take the bunny hat off? Have I just been sitting here all bunnified by myself for the last, however long?
What bunny hat? I don't know what you're talking about. No,
it's fine.
As soon as someone brought it up in the chat while you were talking about Trails of Tucana, I took it off just so that...
How did I just now notice? I'm clearly not paying any attention. But yeah, no, I actually was very surprised that people hadn't said anything up until that point. I was like, they really just know that this is just us at this point. We've really solidified our brand here.
I think someone was confused and maybe hadn't seen us wear them before. And they're like, what's with the giant hats? So...
All right, Eric, so you have something called Balancing Act, is that right?
No, it's called Ice Sculpture.
Ice Sculpture. Where did I put that one? Back over here, probably. Make sure I have it without looking at the picture. Yes, okay, I have the card and a piece of paper to draw on. I will roll for the bonus points. It's going to be number 5 this time. And... 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, this is a guy waiting in the snow for a bus. The bottom of the canvas is sort of snow, and there is a man who is standing holding a briefcase. His knees are sunken into the snow, so only from the knees up. He's wearing a coat. He has a mustache and a grimace on his face. Both of his eyes are visible. He's sort of facing the camera. He has a hat with a white puffball on it. Just slightly to the right of the center of the canvas is the bus stop sign with a pole going all the way up above the man's head. It is a dark sign. It says bus stop. It is also covered in snow. There's snow on the top, and the post actually goes above the sign just a little bit, and there's like icicles dripping off the bus stop sign. And on the right-hand side, stuck into the snow, is a shovel, and it is sticking sort of diagonally from the left up to the right, sort of from the left side is the lower portion stuck into the snow, and then it goes diagonally to the right up into the air. The handle doesn't reach too far. It reaches about to the level of the man's elbows. So let's see, any other details? The man is holding a briefcase in his right hand, so all the way on the left of the canvas. He has a mustache. I mentioned that. You can see his nose. You can see his eyes. You see his hat is dark, and that is time.
Okay. I don't feel horrible about this one.
I hope I got everything on this one.
I think you did well. I mean, I don't know, but we're gonna find out. Ice sculpture. Oh, okay. Let's see here. So number 5 is the bonus. I will when we get to that, I will mention it again. Number 1, the man's nose is closer to the top of the canvas than the top of the shovel's handle. Yes.
All right.
The man has a mustache.
All right.
Yes. There is snow on the ground. Yes. The man is wearing a hat and mittens.
I did get the mittens.
Yeah, I mean, technically, if I could maybe flub gloves and say, oh yeah, those are totally gloves, but they're definitely not mittens. So, all right, so this is number 5. This is the bonus. Both of the man's eyes are visible. I mean, yes, they are. So 1, 2, 3.
But I only get 1 for that.
Yeah. The man's feet are not visible. Yes, that is true. The sign reads, bus stop in all uppercase letters. It does! I'll show more specifically in a second. Did I give myself the point for that one? I don't think I did. Okay. Icicles are hanging off the sign. Yes, they are. The man is standing to the left of the sign and the shovel. Yes.
All right.
The sign is taller than the man.
All right.
I almost got perfect. I only missed 1. So this is what the actual drawing looks like for those of you at home. And this is what my drawing looks like.
That's not bad.
I had to redraw the sign, kind of. But, yeah.
It's really not bad.
There. That's funny. You described the thing on top of his head again, and it did not factor in at all once again.
I know.
Okay, Eric, it is technically 10-7. So
I know.
I know. We're having way too much fun with this one. I promise I will bring Duplicate back. For those of you in chat, I don't know what my score is. Let's see, 23, 30, 34, I think. But usually this game would be played where every single person playing was the describer once. So we wouldn't have this back and forth with the weird scoring. So I want to know what you all in chat got total for your scores. Put it in the chat and we'll see who won of you all.
I got 40 total.
Nice. So yeah, you all in the chat tell me, and I'm going to move my little platform down a little so it's not in my face so much. Did the Klingons deserve it?
Oh, yeah, someone was just joining us because they were killing Klingons.
Oh, I was like, I mean, I am wearing my Chateau Picard.
Oh, very nice.
Right now. So...
So, as people are totaling, we should probably talk about what our topic of discussion is. This is something that you brought up, Crystal. Trying to define... This is a lot more nebulous than, I think, many of our other discussions. But trying to figure out what that undefinable characteristic of a game is that makes us compelled to play it again immediately.
Yeah, and I think... this is a good discussion to have because there is a lot of the whole, a lot of people talk in board game media about this phenomenon of cult of the new and how everybody wants to try the newest, hottest game. And I am one of those people that genuinely enjoys learning and playing new games, the new experiences, the excitement of that. That's something I genuinely enjoy. But every now and then you play a game where you just immediately want to play it again. Or you play it at game night, again, pre-pandemic, and you go home and you're like, I think I want to message my friend and tell him to bring it again next week because you just can't get it out of your mind.
Yeah.
And I don't think that happens all the time. And it's not necessarily that every good game does that. So I wanted to kind of delve into what about a game does that thing where it pulls us back in, whether it's sooner or later, or in some cases, you're still looking for it after 2 years.
Yeah. I
mean, and paying more for it than you should because there was just something about it that you couldn't get out of your head.
The one, this is always the example that comes up, but Merchant of Venus did that for me. A friend had built his own copy and showed it off, and I didn't even know the game existed, and showed this to me, and immediately I didn't do very well, and I sort of realized that a lot of this comes from me not doing well in my initial play, and wanting to get revenge on the game, and thinking about what I could have done better to get a better shot at victory the next time, and sort of shaking my fist at the sky at some sort of turn of fate at that last moment, and that. Wanting me to get another chance. I think that's what it is. So I don't know if winning a game always hurts that feeling, but it doesn't hurt to have lost the first play and want to try again.
Especially, I think, if you only lose by a little bit. Because I will admit, I've had those moments where I get creamed in a first play, and it does sometimes lessen my enjoyment just a little bit. Like, for me, it is really not about winning, but like when you get lapped on the scoreboard, it can sometimes sting a little bit.
Yes, and that can be frustrating. And I think that's an important point, is frustration is not helpful for this. If you felt uncomfortable for most of the game, and just unhappy, because I will certainly, if I am overwhelmed by a game, it will leave a tremendously bad taste in my mouth, and I will not want to play it again because it's too stressful. That's different from challenging. A good challenge is something I'll welcome, but if I am just overwhelmed and I just don't even know what I should be doing, and I am lapped on the scoreboard because I just missed something major or I never really got a handle on it, that is not going to make me want to come back to the game right away.
Absolutely. And the thing that you said about Merchant of Venus, where wanting to come back to it to kind of get revenge on the game, I think that definitely applies to some cooperative games as well, especially cooperative games that are on the more difficult side. I know the very first time I played Ghost Stories, which is a notoriously difficult game to win, my friends and we did pretty well that first play. We didn't win, but we got farther than we thought we would, and we were like, oh yeah, we're gonna get him. We're gonna get Wu Fang next time. We're gonna play this again. And what's funny, they actually played it without me a week or two later when I couldn't come over, and they beat it without me, and I was so bummed. I was like, no, I had gotten the game as a gift for my friend, and then they won it without me, and I was bummed about it.
The last time I played, in fact, the last couple times I played Ghost Stories, it was too easy. We got the perfect rolls, and things just happened to come together very, very well for us, and so we never experienced that tremendous difficulty, and was like, okay, that was fun. I don't need to play it anymore because we sort of beat that already. But there's tons of incarnations of Wu Fang, and it can go terribly. In other plays, that challenge didn't really connect for us, and so it lost some of that immediate draw to go back again.
And I think something that helps with certain cooperative games make them more engaging is what these designers are doing with legacy games. I think Pandemic is a really good example of that, where a base game Pandemic, if you just play it over and over again, generally you're going to get to a point where the group will basically know what they want to do in any given situation. But when you throw the legacy aspect in and things change and rules change and different stuff gets introduced, A, you're not sure what you should do most of the time, and B, it makes the game more compelling to come back to because you want to see what's going to happen next.
Indeed.
Some other stuff that I put in my notes, for me, I think something that tends to draw me back, and this actually applies to the legacy thing as well, is a unique story that you don't discover all of in a single play. So that can be a campaign or a story-based game, or it can just be flavor text on cards. So things like Dead of Winter with the Crossroads cards, even if the mechanics of the game are the same every time, getting to discover more of those Crossroads cards is one of the most exciting parts of that game for me, is seeing what's going to happen in the story.
Yeah, more hidden things for you to explore is definitely a draw. I want to. It's like reading the rest of a book. I want to see the rest of the game. Yeah,
for sure. All other things that tend to draw me in personally, and this is going to sound a little bit of course, but unique mechanisms in games. And I think that is part of my desire to try new games all the time. If the games coming out were all the same as the games that came before, I wouldn't necessarily be as compelled. But and this is not new, obviously, but when I play a game like Let's Make a Bus Route, and it's a flip and write game, but everybody's drawing on the same board, I don't know of any other roll and write games that do that. There's probably some, but this is the one that I know of. And just that fact, that one thing, I'm like, wait, we're all drawing on the same board, was enough to make me, A, interested in it in the first place, and B, keep coming back to it over some of my other roll and write games because this one does something different.
Mm-hmm. A lot of games being suggested in the chat are very simple. I was thinking Splendor falls into this category. Point Salad has shown up in the chat. Something that just one. Something that is very simple to grasp and often playing very quickly as well, so that it is easy to say, let's just do that again.
Like Nova Luna?
Nova Luna plays very, very quickly. Yes.
Oh, man. I'm still playing this one. We learned it at the beginning of the year, and I am still in love with it. Like, it's so good.
It was on my top 100. That's such a great game.
Another thing that this is not always a given for me, but some games, the silliness factor can bring me back. And also draw me in the first place. And so that's where a game like Bermuda Pirates comes in for me.
Okay.
This is a game with a magnetic board where you're literally pushing little plastic ships along the board, and if they hit a magnet, they fling forward and fling the cargo out of the ship. And it's very silly, but like, you always laugh when you're playing this game. And
yep.
It's not just for kids. I have not ever played this with children. I've only played it with adults, and it's always super fun.
Sushi Go showing up in the chat.
Oh, for sure.
Love Letter. That's another one where you want to do multiple rounds because they go by so fast. Halox is asking, what are we talking about? It's pretty nebulous. We're talking about what makes a game compelling, what makes us want to come back to a game immediately and jump right in and play it again, or haunts our dreams while we wait for the next game night to try and get another chance to play it.
Something that tends to work well for me, which I think would probably not be as obvious because it has nothing to do with the gameplay itself, is games that have quick setup and teardown times. Because there are a lot of instances, again, kind of pre-pandemic, not necessarily right now, where I'm okay playing a longer game, but I'm not always like keen on taking the time to set something up. Like if I'm at game night, especially back before the pandemic, like I would get off work at 5, drive to game night, get there around like 5:30, 5:45, and then the group shows up at 6. And I don't want to spend 30 minutes setting up a game and explaining it and going through I want to just be like, boom, game on the table, let's play. And the game doesn't have to be light and simple, but if the setup and teardown are quicker, that means I'm going to play more games, and that's what I'm there to do in the first place. So I think if 2 games being relatively equal in weight and length, if one has an easier setup and teardown, I'm more compelled to go play that most of the time.
Yeah, that certainly helps. Trying to think of any others that haunted my dreams the way they did for Merchant of Venus. Because that was one I just couldn't stop thinking about. I immediately wanted it to show up again at game night. I think because I got lost in the cloud and I needed to not do that again. But nothing else is coming to mind right now.
I mean, there have been a few for me over the years. I mean, obviously, I think my favorite game of all time kind of did the same thing to me, which is Battlestar Galactica.
Yep.
Like, just how well it simulated the show that I loved and also was a really solid board game to boot. And still to this day, every experience I have with it is just so enjoyable. And that is a hard one to get to the table because setup, teardown, take time. The game is long. You got to find the right people to play it with. But during the pandemic, I've played it online, and it was super fun to do. And actually, I should do that again sometime soon. I need another BSG game.
Chat was mentioning Catan as one, and that one definitely hooked me. That was one of my first introductions to the designer board game sphere. And I immediately, 1, wanted to play again, and 2, started looking for ways to play online, like Brett Spielwelt, and I think there might have been another, like an emulator of some sort, that I could try it and play some quick rounds. And so that one definitely grabbed me right away, and I wanted to play more.
Well, chat, y'all keep dropping games into the chat. Let us know what games compelled you to come back to them after your first play. And if you have any other questions for Eric or myself about new houses, Thanksgiving, foods, or otherwise, let us know in the chat. We will hang out for a few more minutes because we don't really have a hard stop. It's not like anybody's sitting here tapping a watch. We can do whatever we want.
Now, I did see one question go by asking about my top 100, who wrote the theme song, the Eric Summers Top 100. That is Eric Herman, who is a fantastic children's musician. If you've never heard the Elephant Song from Eric Herman. It's adorable. And my kids have been fans of his for a long time. And he's also a board gamer and a lovely guy and wrote the theme song. I think Tom's theme song is also Eric Herman's. But I think I think mine's better. It's a better theme song.
I think yours is better.
Yeah.
So, but someday, if Merchant of Venus is no longer your number one game, you'll have to have the song rewritten.
I don't know how that's going to work. Yeah, it'll be quite the coup.
Vanessa asks, "What's with the goose?"
What's with the goose?
It's an Untitled goose statue that a friend of mine bought me as a housewarming gift because Untitled Goose Game was one of my favorite games of last year, and I love my goose very much. Coraloo, I do not have a theme song. So the only top 100 that I've ever done was on the Board Game Blitz YouTube channel. This was before Ambi and I joined the Dice Tower proper. I haven't actually done a top 100 for the Dice Tower, but I want to. So the problem for me is time and filming ability with myself and no one else to help. I've actually considered attempting to do a live top 100 in some fashion. I have no idea how that would work. I wouldn't obviously do all 100 at once because that would be the longest live stream ever and no one would watch. So if you all want me to do a top 100, let me know, because if there's no interest in my top 100, then there's no reason to put the work into it. But if people want to know my top 100, you can at least see the one from 3 years ago over on the Board Game Blitz YouTube channel. But if y'all want me to put mine out here on the Dice Tower, let me know, because I can definitely do that. I just don't know how. So if you have ideas for that as well, I don't want it to just be me talking at the camera. I can do that, but you all know me. I like to do things kind of weird and different, and I don't know. Oh, Halo says that I have a theme song. It's the Let Us Snow song that I posted on Twitter from TikTok.
Yes.
That song cracked me up very much.
You could try and stack the boxes in towers and see how tall you can make your top 100. It'll get really tricky when you have like cylindrical boxes.
Ooh, that's true. I will say, last time I did my top 100, I did not own all of the games in my top 100. So that would be problematic, because I only own around 300 games, and I definitely don't own all of, I don't know what my top 100 would be now, but I imagine I won't own all of them.
Yeah, I had several that were, in other gaming groups, and so I, just had to show a picture.
Yeah, like pre-pandemic, there were certain games that like everybody in my game group owns this game, therefore I don't need to own it, even though I love it. Like Azul is a good example of that. I really like Azul, but I don't need regular Azul because all of my game group people have it. I have the Stained Glass of Sintra because they have the other one. So
Pamela suggests doing it as a musical.
Ooh, that would be a lot more work though.
Especially if you get it all in one. You could do it like Yakko Warner and the Nations of the World.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, let the dogs play the games. I'm sure they would definitely... Like, Lana is literally moping on the floor or on a pillow over here right now. Do you see her? She's like...
Aww.
Yeah, she's... My poor puppo. Also, y'all can see the mess that is my office.
You want to see the mess that is my office?
I mean, you have an excuse, though. I've been living here for 6 weeks now. I should be able to organize this. But technically, the desk that is right over here is because I'm live streaming for 10 hours tomorrow. So that's partially prep for that, because that desk is going to come over here and sit in front of this desk. It's an ordeal, but...
I did see it go by in the chat a while ago. Since tomorrow is Thanksgiving, maybe we could finish with favorite Thanksgiving foods. Traditional or non-traditional? Uh-oh. Did I just lose you, Crystal? I did. I just lost Crystal. All right. Well, we'll see if she comes back. I will say that I am definitely a stuffing guy. I really like stuffing. But we used to do something that I've never had outside of Michigan. I grew up in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And hey, look, it's Crystal. Crystal's back.
Hi.
So I was just saying that I really like stuffing. Stuffing is probably my favorite Thanksgiving food. But we had something growing up in Michigan called spiced apple rings. This came in a jar, and it was probably terrible for you because it was like maraschino cherries but apple rings. So it was sort of like a sweetened spiced sauce in this jar, and then you'd have the apple that retained some sort of texture and firmness inside this jar. It was very weird. I have not seen it in the wild since growing up in Michigan, but spiced apple rings are something I do miss from my Thanksgivings.
I will admit, I was a really, really picky eater when I was a kid. And as I've grown, I have become far less picky in general. Like I eat lots of different foods now, but Thanksgiving foods in particular tend to be things that I don't enjoy. Like, I don't like turkey. Stuffing is fine, but like I don't like gravy. If I eat potatoes, I'd prefer them to not be mashed. Generally, I'll eat mashed potatoes, but like I would prefer a nice baked potato or some like potato wedges. Okay, so the one thing that for me is like any holiday meal, Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever, is what my mom made every holiday when I was growing up, which is also definitely not healthy. So that we have a theme here. And it's pretty common in the Midwest, and it goes by different names, but what we called it growing up was cottage cheese salad. It has different ingredients depending on where you're from, and in some places it's called ambrosia salad, but the way my mom made it, it was cottage cheese, Cool Whip, powdered Jello mix, like cherry Jello, just the powder, not actual Jello, but just the powder, and pineapple chunks. And that was it. And you mix it all together and put it in the fridge. And it's like cherry flavored white fluffiness with pineapples in it. So it's almost like pineapple upside down cake, like it flavor profile, but it's like pink goop on your plate. And it was one of the only things that I would eat as a child, except for when we were at my grandma Plumley's house, because she would make me chicken nuggets because she loved me so very much. Even though my parents were like, don't make her chicken nuggets, make her eat the food. And grandma was like, here, you can have some chicken nuggets because, grandmas are the best. But yeah, cottage cheese salad is awesome. Pam says we call it church basement salad. Yeah, that's like the kind of thing.
Yep.
It's so common all throughout the Midwest, but everybody calls it something different. I super recommend it. It's really, really tasty.
Goofy says, please tell someone with no Thanksgiving experience, is the stuffing in the turkey, or do you eat stuffing that has not been in a turkey? Technically, if it is stuffing, it has been in the turkey. And then if it has not been in the turkey, it's called dressing. However, if you ask any food culinary scientist, they say do not eat the stuffing that's been in the turkey because it never reaches a temperature to make it safe. Otherwise, you've overcooked the bird. So if you are trying to be safe, don't put the stuffing in the bird and make stuffing in a casserole dish or something. And technically it's dressing, but you can still call it stuffing. I'm not going to get mad at you.
Yeah, totally. All right, Eric, I think it's about time for us to wrap up. But before we go, I do want to wish all of our viewers that are here in the United States a very happy and safe Thanksgiving. I hope you all are staying safe and, being responsible, protect your families, protect yourself, do what you can to make sure that no one gets sick.
Yes.
Because we love you all and we don't want to hear about anything bad happening to y'all. Before you click away from our video, make sure you click the little thumbs up button below the video, please, because it makes me happy. And tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day here in the United States, and I will be live streaming for 10 hours over on the Board Game Blitz. The Blord Blame Blitz. The Board Game Blitz Twitch channel. So if you all do not have somewhere to be tomorrow and you're feeling a little bit lonely and you need somebody to hang out with, please come out, hang out with me. Like, genuinely, I'm going to be eating on camera at 11 a.m. Pacific tomorrow. So make your food and come eat with me. I will pretend to pass you things through the webcam if I need to. Just like make sure you're not alone tomorrow. Just like me, I'm going to hang out on the internet all day, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific. But yeah, as for Dice Tower tonight, we will be back in 2 weeks, which will be, holy moly, that's December 9th.
Oh, boy.
That'll be a week and a day before my birthday.
Oh, boy. We have 2 more episodes before Christmas.
That is bonkers. So yes, our next episode will be December 9th, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And honestly, I can't wait to see you all again. But until then, I am Crystal Dax.
I'm Eric Summerer.
And you've been watching Dice Tower Tonight.
And thank you for watching. Promotional consideration has been provided by game publishers in the form of review copies of games. Crystal and I will see you in 2 weeks for another installment. And I'll be in my new studio space, which is already coming together. Our show is supported by viewers like you. Thank you. Dice Tower Tonight is produced by Crystal and me with assistance from Tom Vassell, Mike DeLisio, Roy Cannaday, and Rob Searing. Our adventures in canine hair removal provided by Nair and Fur. Timothy Pinkham composed our theme, and hosting is provided by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games at great prices at coolstuffinc.com. Give us your feedback on the Dice Tower Guild at Board Game Geek on Facebook or Twitter, or by emailing us at crystal@dicetower.com or eric@dicetower.com. And don't forget to visit the other shows in the Dice Tower Network. Find something new at dicetowernetwork.com. Until next time, from all of us at the Dice Tower, have fun gaming.
Happy Thanksgiving!
Happy
everyone.
Thanksgiving!